Okay, we want to bring in a model from SketchUp, or you could bring it in from Deep Exploration. It's the same process. So I've opened up Experience Creator, and we just bring up to File, Import Objects, so we can bring in some objects. So go Import Objects, and you can see here I've got a digital design folder, and then I have saved the SketchUp file as version 6, and then we can sit and open. And we've got some options here. Outline faces, I would leave that because that just brings lines and makes the model bigger and more complex to deal with. Just leave these as defaults for now. And if you run into problems, you might want to change the UVW texture coordinates, so that's the way textures are placed onto the model. So we'll just leave it for no, but if you come into problems, you can bring those as. And it also create back faces. So here is a separate node. We could just, again, you may need to play with that depending on what's happening. So I'm just going to leave it by default, and it depends on your model. Chances are I'd say it'll be fine. So then we can just go OK, and straight away you can see our models come in. So left mouse click and you can move around and have a look. See, it looks good. And what we want to go over, so you can see each part here, table legs show, so that the table legs we can turn on and off, just like that. So show. So you got all the bits, and this is where naming elements is really important. And you can see within each group there's the object. So here, and then within that, or each leg. So you can see how the pieces are brought together. What we want to do is under Scene Settings, come down and this, depending on your model, and this is where it gets a little bit complicated because of everyone's going to end up doing a different sort of size or scale. And Experience Creator doesn't have any units as such, so the units, I guess, it doesn't have the units that it uses are scaleless. So when it says here we've got walk speed and run speed and turn speed and things like that, it's just 50 units. So you may need to adjust those, especially if you're working in millimeters. You can imagine walk speed 50 millimeters is not very far or very fast, so you might need to adjust those depending on what you're doing, and I'll go into some of those a bit more later on. And also scene settings, you can have default lighting on or off, just depends. So there's a few settings up there that you might want to adjust, and some of it's playing with options. We'll just go right up. So collision, again, you might need to adjust some of these, and there's a few others, and it's worth having a play with some of these, but some of those here will be useful. Don't mess with the field of view, that's sort of how you look at it. The user navigation is really useful, so examine is as if it's in SketchUp or within the work area of Experience Creator, but we have walkabout and shooter, so there's some options there, and I'll go over shooter later on, but we'll just leave it on examine for now. And in the next one I'll show you how to adjust some other pieces. Okay.